Hello, my name is John Byrne, and I welcome you to this special presentation of Senior Station, presented to you by the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Senior Station is a program for seniors of all ages and abilities to enjoy movement and storytelling. We start here in our train station and we go all over the world. As I share stories with you, I invite you to follow along with my movements. Well, here she is. Climb aboard the Cornwall Express. Today, we are traveling to a nation full of natural beauty and dramatic history. Scotland is notorious for its love-hate relationship with England. Its breathtaking scenery provides the perfect backdrop to explore ancient history and meet its humble people. Okay, we're all sitting in our seats on the Cornwall Express. A little warm-up. We're just going to open and close our hands to begin. Getting that circulation going. And next, we're going to shrug our shoulders. Just a gentle move up and down. Take your own time with it. And now shoulder rolls. Easy front and back. And keep breathing. Now arms go outside and up and down. 2 and 3. We're gonna do 8. Keep breathing. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now just gentle reaches side to side. One side and the other. Now I hope you're feeling warmed up. 2 more. Now in your seat, just a little march. On your own time, march, march, march. Let's count down 4, 3, 2, 1. You did it. Clap for you. Today, we are heading to the northern part of the United Kingdom. Hello, Scotland. We arrive here in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland. The Scottish are some of the most humble and kind people you will meet in the world. As we walk out of the train station, we notice that we are in a wonderful valley surrounded by shops, restaurants, churches, and ancient ruins. We point to the top of the hill ahead. Point with me. What do you see up there? Well, it's the Grand Edinburgh Castle, home to the honors of Scotland. Oh, let's walk up and climb the hill of the Royal Mile. The castle is just ahead. We arrive at the Esplanade, the entrance to Edinburgh Castle, sitting high up on volcanic rock at the end of the Royal Mile. We're above the city, and this castle represents the birthplace of Edinburgh. When it was built in the 11th century, before entering the castle, we are greeted by 2 statues. The first is William Wallace, also known as Braveheart. As Scotland's most famous knight, William Wallace became one of the main leaders during the First War of Scottish Independence in the 13th century. Wallace defeated an English army at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in September of 1297. He was appointed Guardian of Scotland and served until his defeat at the Battle of Falkirk in July 1298. In August 1305, Wallace was captured near Glasgow and handed over to King Edward I of England, who had him hanged, drawn, and quartered for high treason and crimes against English civilians. It is said that parts of Wallace's body were paraded through Scotland as a warning. Now, the other statue we see is Robert the Bruce. He was King of Scotland from 1306 to 1329. Robert the Bruce won the decisive Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, freeing Scotland from England. Let's all run because we're free! Woo! This was the last great victory by the Scottish, and the Latin inscription just above the castle entrance says, "What you do to us, we will do to you." We are on top of our horses now, ready to enter Edinburgh Castle. Follow along. Clap, knee, knee. 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 A little faster. We're ready to enter the castle. Oh, we better stop, pull on the reins. Woo! We see a gate ahead of us. This is the portcullis gate. We better make sure that they know we are not the enemies. So we wave a Scottish flag. Maybe with one hand or with two hands. Oh, the guards, they pull the chain and the gate rises. Pull the chain with me. Okay, they secure the gate and we ride further. We see the tall and round Argyle Tower, which served as a lookout. Let's be round. We climb up the stairs of the tower and we look out one of the porticos. We can see all of Edinburgh. Now we know that water was once brought up to the castle by a bucket that hung over the Argyle Tower. A pulley carried water from the base of Edinburgh Castle rock. And that is the rock we're standing on top of the tower. They would pull the pulley system and the bucket would rise. And it came all the way from a well down below called Margaret's Well. Now, Edinburgh Castle has served many functions, from royal palace to military fort. The oldest and my most favorite building in the compound is the small chapel. St. Margaret's Chapel, one of the few 12th century structures surviving in any Scottish castle. It dates from the reign of King David I, from 1124 to 1153, who built it as a private chapel for the royal family and dedicated it to his mother, St. Margaret of Scotland, who died in the castle in 1093. It survived the sliding of 1314, when the castle's defenses were destroyed by the orders of Robert the Bruce, and was used as a gunpowder store from the 16th century when the present roof was built. In 1845, it was discovered by the antiquary Daniel Wilson while in use as part of a larger garrison chapel, and was restored in 1851 to 1852. The chapel is still used for religious ceremonies such as weddings. We walk into the chapel. It's tiny. Oh, make a very small shape in your hands. Well, that's exactly the size of what the chapel looks like. Inside, it's surprisingly bare and modest. There are benches along the walls and 5 stained glass windows which were added in 1929. One is of Wallace and his sword, and another one is of Saint Margaret. Saint Margaret of Scotland was an English princess of the House of Wessex, the sister of Edgar Atheling. Margaret and her family fled to Scotland following the Norman conquest of England around 1066. Around 1070, Margaret wed Malcolm III of Scotland. She was pious and known for her charity. She established a ferry that went across the Firth of Forth for pilgrims traveling to Dunfermline Abbey. She is reported to have died in Edinburgh Castle, as I said, after receiving the news of her husband's death in battle. In 1250, she was canonized by Pope Innocent IV. Now for me, the highlight of Edinburgh Castle is the Honours of Scotland. The Honours of Scotland, informally known as the Scottish Crown Jewels, date from the 15th and 16th centuries and are the oldest surviving set of crown jewels in the British Isles. The regalia were used together for the coronation of Scottish monarchs from Mary I in 1543 until Charles II in 1651. They were used to represent royal assent to the legislation and the Estates of Parliament before England and Scotland were unified under one Parliament in 1707, at which time the honours were locked away in a chest and the English crown jewels were adopted by British monarchs. Oh, let's put the jewels in our box, close the lid, and lock the lock. And throw away the key. And throw away the extra key. And throw away the extra key. There are 3 primary elements to the Honours of Scotland: the crown, the scepter, and the sword of state. The gold crown decorated with gems and pearls is Scottish, and the scepter and sword were gifts from the Pope made in Italy. They also appear on the crest of the royal coat of arms of Scotland. Go ahead and put your crown on. Now, slide your sword into its case around your waist. And then, hold up your scepter. Are you feeling very royal today? I'm sure we're all getting pretty hungry, and we better enter the Great Hall. Now, the Great Hall has not such a great reputation. In fact, some pretty horrible stuff happened in here. Shh. In 1440, the young William Douglas, 6th Earl of Douglas, and his brother were invited to dine with the 10-year-old King James II of Scotland. They were invited by Lord Chancellor William Crichton. While the guests ate a black bull's head, the Earl and his brother were dragged out to nearby Castle Hill, despite the protests of the 10-year-old King James. The Earl and his brother were given a mock trial and summarily beheaded. William was just 16 years old, while David was likely no older than 12. William's great-uncle James Douglas succeeded him as the 7th Earl of Douglas, with many historians believing that it had all been arranged by Crichton's co-conspirators. Yes, this dinner was called the Bloody Black Dinner, and it happened here right in the Great Hall. They say the black bull's head was an omen of bad things, bad things. Hey, as long as none of us are dukes or duchesses or earls or princesses or princes or kings or queens, we should be pretty safe eating in the Great Hall today. And speaking of brave and Braveheart, we can try one of Scotland's most famous dishes. I may just pretend. Haggis is a savory pudding containing sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, minced with onion, oatmeal, suet, or hardened fat, spices and salt, mixed with stock, and cooked while traditionally encased in the animal's stomach. Oh, the haggis has arrived. Look at it on your plate and smell it. Do you see the color and the texture? Let's go ahead and try to eat our haggis. On the count of 1, 2, 3. What do you think? Maybe you like it, maybe you've had it before. Okay. Well, after brushing our teeth, we can leave Edinburgh, but in honor of our trip to Scotland, I have a couple of jokes. Scotland only has 2 seasons, June and winter. What does the Loch Ness Monster eat? Fish and chips. Loch Ness is a vast freshwater loch up here in the Highlands, extending for approximately 37 kilometers south of Inverness. Its surface is 16 meters above sea level. You may have heard of the Loch Ness Monster or Nessie. She is the famous monster that's very hard to find. Have you ever been hard to find? And I'm not just saying as a kid. Have you ever hid as an adult or not answered your phone? I know some days I feel like not answering my phone. So they call me Nessie. People have been affectionately trying to find Nessie for many, many years, and there have been a few sightings. She also shares the name with many, many stuffed animals and magnets and coffee mugs and t-shirts and bumper stickers and pins and postcards. Did I say magnets? That can be found at the gift shop in Loch Ness. Let's lock out. Do you see the Loch Ness Monster? No, I don't see her out there. Along the shore of Loch Ness, we can take a stroll into the castle, Urquhart. Presently in ruins, Urquhart Castle dates from the 13th to the 16th centuries, though built on the site of an early medieval fortification. Urquhart played a role in the Wars of Scottish Independence in the 14th century. It was subsequently held as a royal castle and was raided on several occasions by the MacDonald Earls of Ross. Let's climb to the top of this castle and look out again for Nessie. Look out. Do you see her? I don't see her either. Well, there's one other way we could find Nessie. That's right, jumping in. Okay, we take off our Scottish jacket and maybe our Scottish kilt, and we're left in our skivvies. Let's run to the water. Oh, and touch the water with your toe. Woo! It's too cold. Run back. Should we try again? Okay, run to the water and touch the water with your toe. Oh, and we run away. Oh, I think we better try holding hands. Hold hands and let's run together. And on the count of 3, let's jump in. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's swim around the Loch Ness. Oh, I see little fishies. And I see little frogs bouncing in the water. But I don't see Nessie. Do you hear something? Uh-oh, let's swim closer. Listen again. Oh, swim a little closer. It sounds almost like a bagpipe. Keep swimming. Wow, look at the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie is beautiful. She's so curvy. She looks just like this. Make an S sideways with your arms. You look like Nessie. Try it again. Make another S with your arms. You look like Nessie. Now look over. Uh-oh, Nessie is gone. We got too busy dancing and we lost her. But we have a great story to tell that we actually saw the Loch Ness Monster. Well, we're on the banks again, on the shore, and we roll out a little blanket. And we sit down to have a Scottish picnic. Now, no more haggis. I think we can make up for it by having scones. I know we had some scones in Ireland, but you know, we never say no to scones. We open up our picnic basket and we take out our scones. Oh, let's spread some clotted cream on our scones and maybe some jam. And try your scone. Delicious. Now a medieval ruin, Dunnottar Castle rests just off the cliffside of Stonehaven on 160-foot cliffs overlooking the North Sea. Let's be the waves crashing against the cliff. Cold, icy waves. The castle began as a single chapel in the year 1276 and was controlled by the English. But in 1297, during the Wars of Scottish Independence, the famous renegade William Wallace is said to have taken the castle. He is said to have imprisoned 4,000 soldiers. This is William Wallace's famous battle pose. Try it. And stop. It is said that in the castle, the Scots did not drink water. They only drank beer. Drink some beer. Oh, you like a pint, don't you? During the Scottish occupation, there was only one entrance to the castle on that high cliff wall. That means garrisons of the English could only go in one way, but cannons and turrets were waiting. Climb the wall. There was an escape hatch that dropped directly down into the North Sea beach below. Climb down the rope. Around circular motion. In 1651, the English forces led by Oliver Cromwell attacked the castle to seize the Scottish crown jewels hidden in the Tower House. The jewels are also known as the Honours of Scotland. The castle was under attack for 8 months. Let's go around, rolling arms, count 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. When the English finally got in, the crown jewels were missing. They had been smuggled out by a group of women led by Mrs. Christian Fletcher. Christian was a servant to the Scottish Queen. Legend has it the Honours of Scotland were lowered from the escape hatch down into the beach on the North Sea, of course, in the cover of night. Mrs. Fletcher collected the crown, the sword, and the scepter. She rode away from the castle close to the cliffs, ready to tip the pieces into the sea if pursued. Let's ride our horse on the sea cliff. Clap, knee, knee. Clap, knee, knee. Clap, knee, knee. Clap, knee, knee. A little faster. Oh, faster. Giddy up. You did it. Mrs. Fletcher and her husband buried the Honours of Scotland safely in Kenneth Church, just about 7 miles south of Dunnottar Castle. Now it's been a great day in Scotland. Before we go, I'd like to teach you a little bit of a special Scottish dance, the sword dance. Let's go ahead and get a bagpipe going. We put our bagpipe under our arm and our feet are together. And we start to pump up the bag. And we hold the horn in our hand and we blow and sing the bagpipe. Try it with me. And wiggle your fingers to play different notes. Very well done. Now we can do the Scottish sword dance. Hold your arms up and just tap your legs side to side. And one hand goes on the hip. And change. And we go back and forth. 2 arms up. 1 arm down. And change. Now you can go ahead and point your toes or point your feet. And just as you like, you can change your arms and make your own Scottish sword dance. And bring your dance to an end. Clap for you. You did it. Well, here she is. Climb aboard the Cornwall Express. Our journey through Scotland has come to an end. There's so much more to see though, so we may have to come back. Again, my name is John, and it has been a pleasure to dance with you today. I welcome you to join us on other adventures of Senior Station. I say thank you and goodbye.